G'day, and welcome to Crusty's Adventure Tour. Today we're going to pack the bus up and take it out to the Toowoomba Range, which is west of Brisbane in Queensland, Australia. It's a fairly long drive out there, but after a while we saw this massive flag out on the hilltop. Now that flag was just the start of the hugeness for the day. We came across these massive windmills. Now in Australia, we like everything to be big. As we drove on, we saw this big orange. So in a land where everything has to be big, we even get a big orange. How cool. And if that wasn't big enough, we came across this big red elephant. Check this out. And here we are at the big red elephant. Why in Australia we have a big red elephant on the side of the road? Got no idea. But looks good. We've got big red elephants, and now we've got big red ants. I mean, is there anything small in this country? And if that wasn't big enough, we also come across some really big signs. And this one was warning us about things falling out of the sky. Way! Just had to avoid someone falling out of the sky then. How about we look into some history now and check out some really old buses. Here we have one of the first versions of a bus. Oh, look at that. Imagine caught someone round in that. And this was one of the premier buses. As we move on, we come to the next stage of the bus, which is a four-seater. Oh, this was plush back in its day, wasn't it? Okay, now we come to the more modern of the old buses. This would hold about 8 people. And as you can see, as we move in and look at the suspension, it wouldn't have been all that smooth a ride. But in its day, this was number one. This is actually the first, or one of the first, convertible wagons. There's a sports model of horse and carriage. Now this is a bus. 25 passengers this would carry. 25 passengers because half of them have got to sit on the roof. The old omnibus. Well, sexism was strife back in these days because the women had to sit inside, out of the cold, out of the wind, while the men had to sit up top. And for you to get the bus to stop, what you had to do was pull on a leather strap, which was tied to the driver's leg. Now, I've heard of pulling one's leg, but this is actual fact. Hey. Now, not only did we see some really old buses, but they also had some really old holiday transport, just like this. This was actually one of the first caravans. Probably where the gypsies used to travel in, but it's a long way from your current mobile home, I've got to say. We've seen some big stuff, and we've seen some really old stuff. But check out this farm. Alright, on this Crusty adventure, we get to see one of Australia's coat of arms animals. That's right, the emu. Hello, emus. Look at them. Everywhere. And we use emu wool for all different sorts of things. Am I going to get to pat one? Let's see. I don't think he wants me to pat him. Hey. Now it wasn't just Australian animals we came across. How about you check out this horned furry little fella? Hello, Mr. Goat.
Doesn't like humans a lot.
Okay, so my horned furry little mate wasn't all that friendly. But how's some of this old machinery that's just been left lying around on this farm? Check it out. You Crusty Matisse, are you?
He's not really crusty. This is a really old tractor, as you can see.
Oh, hey! Now this is a crusty old tractor, this one, isn't it? Made in about 1936. Well, maybe 56. Could have been 76. Had a bit of work done. This is what you call a little bit of farmyard artwork, I'd say.
Oh, yeah?
A bit of a sculpture there with bits and pieces from the farm. Now that was pretty cool. But as we drove on a little further, we come across a couple of old planes just lying around in some guy's paddock. Check out Nathaniel's documentary skills.
And as you see that one behind you, this one is a real crash land. Well, my brother is here. Sounds Crusty.
Where are you, Nathaniel?
Well, I'm in a big jet. The crash land jet I filmed. Guys, Crusty is filmed.
And what part of the jet are you in?
I'm in the cockpit.
Okay.
Obviously, the only bit of the plane where you can go. And that's it.
So we've seen a tractor graveyard, a plane graveyard. Suppose we better go on to the human graveyard. Look at this old graveyard we have here, out in the middle of the country. We found a tombstone. It looks like it got broken during the massive floods in Queensland in 2011. And hold on, what's the date on there?
It says 8.
What's it say, Nathaniel?
1885.
1884.
2 people were buried here.
Yeah, it looks like they were both young kids as well.
Yep, 2 in 1880 and 1885. So this one was buried here, and then that must have been brothers or twins.
Oh, that was a bit creepy, wasn't it? Oh, and so was that diner as well. But you want to know what creeps me out the most? It's seeing the death of an old bus. Have a look at this. Well, this is one reason: don't smoke on a bus, otherwise it'll end up like this. Don't let me driving this one. It's just sad to see, isn't it? But also what was sad was this number plate we saw on the way home. Have a look. Yeah, 9/11 was a little bit sad, wasn't it? But hopefully, after the sirens pass, we can all have a pleasant night's sleep and maybe some happy dreams. Have a look at this. Gotta have sweet dreams. Had them once before, but I think those days are well over. So on that note, I think it's probably good to say farewell and good night. So until next time, I'll see you then.